White aggro. This is card for card the deck list that I played at the Streamer Invitational Tournament where I top 16 going 4-2. This main deck is card for card a list that got second on one of the teams at WMCQ. The sideboard is slightly different compared to their, I think I have a 4th experiment to friends where they had a second Banefire, and you can find a sideboard guide and general thoughts on this deck in my primer on Cool Stepping from a couple of weeks ago. What are your thoughts on Meteor Golem in the sideboard of Banefire? It seems fine. I don't know that you necessarily need that card, but it seems like a card that you could cast occasionally. Pirates went well. We had some good games against some mid-range and control decks, and we got a little bit beat up by Drakes at the end. The replay will be on YouTube later, as always. I mean, if I knew this hand was going to draw 3 lands in a row, or even 2 lands in a row, I'd keep it. But with 1 land on the play, we just can't. This hand's very reasonable. We're going to keep. I'm gonna bottom that. We're on the play. I want to be a little bit more aggressive than that card's gonna let me be, I think. It's just impossible to know, Caboose Man. Like no one knows what the format's gonna look like once we have a new set. Anybody that's trying to tell you otherwise is lying to you. I'm pretty into MTG and has wild cards. What happens when Allegiance comes out? Well, I mean, all these cards will still be standard legal. So Magic only rotates standard formats, only rotates cards out of its standard format in every October. So you will still be able to play this deck card for card when the new set releases. As for will it be good? I don't know. The same thing I just said to Caboose Man. I have no idea. Can't predict the future. So I feel a little bit bad if they Deafening Clary on me here, but I keep 1 Aspirant, and then I get to hit them for 7 next turn, so, like, fine. This deck's probably actually a really good choice for a brand new standard format, because people generally like to durdle around when standard formats are new, so, like, having a really strong proactive deck to punish people who are fumbling is generally a good idea. Sure, but like dusting creates a different kind of fear, right? There's still a fear of wasting what you've done. The system just executes it in a different way. I was hoping to draw spells at some point here, but all right, reinforcements. All right, just move along with our lives here. All right, land, Banefire, Frenzy, Ajani, Venerated Loxodon out, Benalish Marshal out, 1 Conclave Tribunal out. Sounds good. Yes, Plains is exactly like a reinforcement. Man, people really don't like watching good decks. We just like dropped 200 viewers when we switched to playing this tier 1 deck. Power of the memes, chat. Power of the memes. This hand's very good. If we hit a 4th land on curve with this hand, we're hopefully gonna run them out of the game. I'd love to draw a 2-drop next turn or a 1-drop, and then draw a land for the next turn or 2. I mean, there's definitely some people who like good decks, but there's definitely more who prefer random things. No Angrath, no views. No turn 3 sweeper, sign me up. I am not going to play Skymarcher out because I'd really prefer not to extend into a sweeper here, I don't think. Nah, I'm a liar. I've got Frenzy and Reinforcements. Let's go. They could have a Subtle Wreckage this turn. Nope. No, they cannot. Are they dead to Are they dead to Reinforcements? Yeah, Reinforcements is actually lethal next turn. So let's draw a land here. Untapped land. That's exactly like an untapped land. This would have dealt +6. Would have killed them exactly. This is a great example of why we board in a 20-second land. Alright, well, if they don't have a Spell Pierce or a Shock, they're dead here. Driving in my car, beep beep. Who's the weasel? Adanto Vanguard is so oppressive, it's insane. Here's a different take. Control players are so whiny. Like, whenever I hear control players complaining about Adanto Vanguard and Carnage Tyrant, I just want to be like, you greedy mother effers. Like, have you read the control cards that you get to play with in this format? Have you read Teferi? Have you read Niv Mizzet? You know why this format is great? This format is great because there are a variety of powerful cards that you get to play in every different archetype. This format is good because we get Adanto Vanguard and you get Teferi and other people get Carnage Tyrant. The format is awesome because of that variety and playing with a selection of powerful cards. All right, this hand might brick and die. I think it's a keep at 6 though on the draw with the Scribe. That's true. The only thing Magic players like more than playing Magic is complaining about Magic. 10 out of 10. Ding, ding, ding. All right. If we hit lands 3 and 4 on time, we'll be good to go. Fantastical. If they have a Drake here, I get to Conclave Tribunal it. I wonder if I was supposed to bring my 4th Tribunal back in because they showed me Crackling Drake. Very possible. The fact that Legion's Landing is like a spell that basically draws us a land in a lot of games is so fantastic. No, you have to have a card that has Ascend on it in order to gain the city's blessing. So Ascending is part of the rules text of a card. So like they get to Deafening Clarion me here, but like they leave a 1/1 behind from this and my Adanto stays alive too. Although I really wish we would have drawn the land there so we could have jammed this and flipped this. It would have been ideal. But alas, we'll just have to settle for another Adanto Vanguard. I wonder if we're going to see them tuck the Conclave Tribunal here.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
And this is a good sequence from them. 8 months of well-honed play and analysis, timing out a-holes. Thanks for the great content. What's going on? Go to Scoop Step. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Well, that was what we like to call a good draw in the biz. So I tapped my Adanto Vanguard here on purpose because I want to kill their Teferi, and if I'm attacking their Teferi anyways, I might as well attack it with my lifelink creature to gain the 1 health, since either of these would be lethal towards the Teferi.
No more games. Time for plan B.
So I know 2 cards down is a Tribunal, so hopefully this is a 4th land. Never forget, chat. the best source of card advantage is killing your opponent with cards in their hand. Thanks for the fun times, Fliptos. Thanks for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Charge. Oh no, not the. All right, down to 1. All right, we're gonna have a very valuable lesson. This is a learning moment for people on this stream. Got timed out in your chat for saying Teferi is bad and nothing else. Found out when I started typing my reply to defend my statement that cards are too good or bad. I got banned. Not cool, man. 1, you knew you got timed out. Getting timed out is a temporary ban. 2, if you read my chat rules instead of just clicking past them, you'd know that's against the rules. Pro tip. You can type more than one single line of a thought before pressing enter in Twitch chat. You don't have to send your message after every 3 words you type. It's okay to form coherent thoughts in Twitch chat. I know it's not encouraged in a lot of places, but it's encouraged here. And people like this, this is what they deemed worth complaining about. They didn't listen to the stream rules and then got timed out for breaking the stream rules and decided to let me know about it on Twitter. That's why people ask for timeouts in this channel, because people like that who broke the stream rules and then complain about it, they're making fun of those people. What's a complete thought? Really asking the hard questions. Seems super reasonable. Doesn't have one of our many 1-drops in it, but like 2, 3, 4 here is going to be really strong. If we're a true professional, we're going to draw 1-drop on 1. Rats. That does guarantee our 4th line drop at least. Adanto Vanguard is very bad in the mirror on the draw. So we'll see if their draw is also good, we could get run out here. I only y'all are great, Huglandia. Y'all are wonderful, and don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a little bit of a hard time here. So I get to do this, which I guess gives me some blockers. I got you, Hall. You're super dead. So, just for a small amount of magic theory, when you are playing a mirror match of sorts, being slightly bigger in that mirror, having creatures that go slightly higher up the curve, tends to be a favorable position to be in. So my opponent's deck is similar to our deck, but it's playing cards like Aurelia in the main deck, so it's also aggressive but slightly bigger than what our deck is doing, so they're likely positioned to be favorable in this matchup based on how their deck is configured. We have 4 copies of Conclave Tribunal that could take Aurelia out of play, but generally speaking, we just want to get under that card or go wide around it. Nobody reads paragraphs in Twitch chat, homie. Oh no! Oh no, chat, he unfollowed my channel. Oh no! How am I gonna make up the $0 per month that follow is worth? That follow is worth so many $0 per month increments. Oh no! Burn player. Thank you for this 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What a brutal. I always love when someone's like they're a total twat in my YouTube comments, and I respond to them, and they're like, "Well, I'm just gonna unsub to your YouTube channel." It's like, good for you. That's worth actual nothing. God bless. People who think that being timed out is some kind of large travesty probably weren't gonna be a good fit for this channel anyways. Lots of us read the paragraphs, Isabus. There's someone that's not familiar with how this channel works, and they're just looking to complain. Thanks, Surin. I know that. There's lots of people who like to complain about my chat rules, but I know there's a good number of people who really appreciate them. And you know what? At the end of the day, the chat rules are what works best for me. And this is my space on the internet. So whatever works best for me is how things are going to work here. And I'm glad other people appreciate it as well. There's this idea that's perpetuated on Twitch that like if a channel is large, you can't have a reasonable chat in it, and I think that's just not true. I think with proper moderation and proper rules that are enforced, you can very much have reasonable discussion. Driving in my car, beep beep. Rawr. This is a weird block. They should block my 4-2, right? Yeah. This white-red aggro train has no brakes. Beep, beep. Alright, you're down to 4. Oh, Batman, I'm so glad you responded to that person on Twitter with the clip of me responding to them. That's like some responception right there. You just made my afternoon. That's truly wonderful. God bless you. All right, they're at 4, so they just played a 1-1 for 2. Did I just do this? What do we think of this? I think I just do this, right? Elephant battle cry. This channel encourages bullying. It's so weird. It's so weird how actually it's not even weird. It's just, it really talks about the sense of entitlement we have in today's society, that when I lay out rules for a space that I've created and then I enforce those rules, people accuse me of being unfair. Like, seriously, you're not entitled to do whatever you want wherever you want it. Like, you came in here, you read the rules. Like, I don't know. You know, you do you, really. All right, so I think I want Baffling Ends on the draw. Adanto Vanguard's pretty bad on the draw on these aggressive mirrors. What about my free speech? Sorry, apologies for your free speech. It's like, those people are coming in here and being rude to me, and then somehow I'm the problem. Yeah, get out of here. Get gone. I appreciate the bit, sassy dog. Those are worth way more than one follow. No one reads paragraphs, says the person that clearly didn't read the paragraph detailing the rules. Shh. That's just, it's funny because it's sad. It's funny because it's sad. Do I just go like bodyguard here into history? I think so. We got you, Dusk. We live to please. Keep going, Corvox. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. You timed me out for a 2-word content, me, anger. Love to restore balance, but I feel dirty. All to the green, black rock, and have a good one. Thank you for the bits, Technopunk. I appreciate the support. Time to make up for that lost sub. What's going on, Ranting Bob? Thanks for the 3-month resub. Welcome back, and thanks for the tier 3 resub at that. All right, so do I? If I play the history, I can't Loxodon this turn, but I can go history this turn into Witnesses Loxodon the following turn, and then the turn after that, the History of Benalia pops off. So not next turn, but the turn after we'll have a really big attack. All right, so, oh, that gives flying too. That's so good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play this off of these 5 and then play these 2 out because these will be able to chump block and then make a token afterwards, which is nice. You're not wrong, go to Scoop Step. It's a genuine Magic video game. Genuine Magic video game. All right, hoping to dodge heroic reinforcements here. Okay, that's an Aurelia. I think we're gonna have a Mathis for blockers turn next turn. The Aurelia is another reason that I'm really glad I put counters on all of these knights, because now when this pops off next turn, these will all be 5 power. When do we bring in Frenzy? If you want to know how to sideboard with this deck, you can find my article about it on Cool Stuff Inc. Hey, Tomalix, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I think I'm gonna chump these and trade here. The fact that I don't have red mana kind of sucks here, because it means my best draw in my deck, my heroic reinforcements, is currently off. All right, so they have to block at least one of my knights here. I don't think this is going to be good enough. I think with their History of Benalia here, we're probably going to be too far behind. Although double blocking's real good for me. If they trade off aggressively here, that's like kind of okay for me, but the Aurelia being left over is kind of bad. Yeah, I've given Wizards of the Coast copious amounts of my dollars. I spent about $1,200 on Arena in 2018. I'll probably spend about $200 to $250 per set that releases this year, so I can have all the cards right away to play with on stream. Another history, yep. Hunted Witness is a good pickup here too. Yeah, like I said, if I had red mana, I'd be in an okay spot because I'd be drawing to outs. I guess I'm drawing to Conclave Tribunal here. Baffling End's not a bad draw. Is that lethal? That's pretty close. They block here. It's pretty decent for us. Am I gonna open the packs on stream? Yeah, probably. So they get to eat this. This has Vigilance, so they missed a free attack here with this. Let's see if it ends up mattering. So they're going to 1 here. Which I guess this has lifelink and they're getting another blocker here, so we're still not in an amazing spot. And like, they could even Aurelia and then Mentor onto the lifelink token to attack for in game 3. I think we're probably dead here. I think it's correct for them to... Oh, they could also do this and attack with that. Yeah, like this. I've not considered producing a music video about myself. No. Yeah, I think we're just too far gone here. Yeah, good games, opponent. That's close. Game 1, they kind of ran away with it. Game 2, we had a strong draw in the play, and that one was a little bit back and forth. Like I said, if I had a red source in play, I'd take draws in that game to like try and find a heroic reinforcements to steal it, but we didn't, so we're not going to bother. Baffling End can only exile a creature that costs 3 or less, and Aurelia costs 4, so she's not a legal target. The Sand is great. We get to go 1. Hopefully we hit our 3rd land on 3. If we hit our 3rd land on 3, we get to go like 1 into 1/1 into Benalish Marshal, which is quite fantastic. Or maybe even History of Benalia, because Marshal after History is pretty good too. Ding, ding, ding. Get ready to smork, chat. Get ready to smork. Smush. Grixis stuff looks like. Even through Thought Erasure here, we've got 2 good plays next turn. Any good replacement for Marshal? Not really. This effect is pretty unique. If you search around online for other white-red aggro decks, there are some builds that are a little bit bigger that tend to not play Marshal. Picking up Dauntless Bodyguard is a good grab here too, because it's another knight for History of Benalia, and it'll also protect one of my threats through a Ritual of Soot on 4. So, wouldn't be too surprised to see Ritual of Soot come down. It's one of their better cards against us for certain. Hopefully we get to dodge their discard spell here. What if they have like Moment of Craving or something like that here? If they have a Moment of Craving, they probably want to kill the Hunted Witness, so that way, if they have like Craving into Ritual of Soot. You can find all of my deck lists on my website, as well as on my YouTube channel. So if you look for a past video on my YouTube channel, you can always find stuff there. The video description, sorry, is the word I'm searching for. So I'm gonna go ahead and convoke off of these. And the reason why I want to convoke this into play is this lives through Ritual of Soot, which is really nice. So even if they have Ritual of Soot here, they're actually dead on board because this leaves behind a 1/1, this saves this, and then this lives. So Ritual of Soot on 4 literally doesn't save them. This deck is so great. Just like turn 2 discard, turn 3 removal spell, dead on my turn 5. Nice sweeper. Don't mind me. Just attacking for Xaxes. What's going on, Regulus? Welcome. Hope you feel better soon. Catch us right at the tail end here today. We've got about another half hour, 45 minutes or so before we're done. Always bring in your extra land when you board in the 4-drops. This is definitely a matchup where we do that. Ajani seems reasonable. Usually you cut Marshal against decks full of sweepers because he encourages us to overextend. And then usually the Loxodon is an okay trim, although that dynamic kind of changes because Loxodon is like okay against their Ritual of Soot. So I'm gonna trim one of these and 2 of these. Conclave Tribunal is a card we don't mind seeing like 1 copy of, but drawing multiples per game can be awkward against control decks. The 5-color ramp deck, Arena, is currently bugged with the interaction between Gift of Paradise and Chromatic Lantern, which makes it kind of unplayable, since it's playing 4 of both of those cards. Hey, Tipato, thanks for the sub-gift there, I appreciate that. Tobto, if you have a deck that's already in the queue that you'd like to bump up, I do give people points in the queue for when they gift subs, just like when they cheer bits or donate dollars. The people that support my content get to dictate what we do and when we do it. Hates Control, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome. I think this deck is a great choice for best of 1 and best of 3. This is my favorite competitive deck in the format. Steadily approaching my sword. Rudyard, thanks for the 5-month resub. Welcome back. I think there's a lot of like tier 2-ish decks that like can be competitive, but I think the 4 best decks in standard right now are, Drake's, Jeskai Control, Green Black, and this is my favorite of those 4. Just enjoy the play patterns it produces. Thanks, Hates. I appreciate that. We've got a red source. Yep. Good night, heroic reinforcements. You were too pure for this world. This is a hand that's much worse against Ritual of Soot than we were last game. I mean, you can win plenty of matches with Pirates. I played Pirates at the Invitational, but I'm also like, it's important to be realistic about the decks that you're playing. So like, while I love Pirates, and I think you're gonna win plenty of games with it, and there's a reason why I played it at the Invitational, I think trying to tell yourself that the Pirates deck is as good as this deck or any of those other 3 decks I just listed is just like patently incorrect. This is my favorite version of White Meanie. I like what this deck is doing. I like the selection of threats that it's playing. I like the high density of 1-mana spells this deck has access to. I think the Ajani Pridemate build is very good against other White Weenie decks, but I think in general I prefer this build. Sweet, get to flip Legion's Landing here. And honestly, I think I'm just gonna pass here and just activate Adanto First Fort at the end of their turn. If they have like Golden Demise, this dies to that, so I'd rather not extend into it. That's such a tilt. I loved you, heroic reinforcements. You were too pure for this world. Yes, that is exactly what makes a good format, in my opinion, WCAR. The fact that the tier 2 decks are very close to tier 1 and can play competitive games against them is what makes it enjoyable. So, I don't know that I like Duress in this matchup, but like when I have Negate in the control deck, I tend to bring in Negate in this matchup because they have a hard time with Experimental Frenzy, Heroic Reinforcements, and History of Benalia, all of which Duress and Negate hit. Wow, I feel really bad for playing my land out here. That's really sloppy on my part. Nicol Bolas is 100% a card that I should be thinking about, and I should have kept that land in my hand. And I'm not going to play this out because they need a sweeper anyways. So there's no reason to play another threat into a sweeper they already have to have. I can appreciate someone that takes their own way out. You don't beat me, I beat me. Ha! And honestly, so like, while I do enjoy like the kind of feel smart gameplay that pirates generate, there's something almost therapeutic about playing a deck like this at the end of the day where you're just like, all right, do some math, smash you, smash you, smash you. Just like very, very cut and dry, straightforward lines. You're still making choices, but your primary game plan is very obvious and the same every game. It's like, this is always what I want to be doing, etc. I prefer aggressive decks that, well, so actually, Ozar, one of the, I know you weren't asking about this, but one of the problems with Artifact is the fact that Artifact doesn't really have aggressive decks like this. Like, every deck in Artifact is like this convoluted control deck, the way the tempo of the gameplay tends to play out. There aren't decks that are just relaxing and smash. Every match of Artifact feels like playing this long, drawn-out control matchup. Yeah, Stream Decker was having some issues earlier. No strong opinions. It's honestly, it's probably a good thing that they have a variance reducing opening hand mechanic because Best of One does have a lot more variance. I agree, WCAR. I think playing control mirrors every game appeals to a certain kind of person, but you know what? Playing this Marshal last turn might have been wrong. I think there's a good chance, especially knowing that they had this cast down in hand, that I should have played the Adanto plus the Legion's Landing. Yeah, I agree. Now, there's definitely some decks in that game that are like more aggressive than others. I wouldn't describe them as like the same style of decks that like this style of deck is in Magic, for instance. I think my sequencing there was wrong. And I think it's, at least as someone who's played Magic for as long as I have, I think it's like really important to have decks of this style be an option that you can play in games to attract certain types of players. All right, they kept that on top. I think I just go ahead and do this and then attack and flip this. They're still 2 turns off of Finality here. The one card you really want to keep in your mind when playing against these control decks is how close to Finality they are, because that's their sweeper. At 6 mana, they can give the board -4/-4. Oh, they don't have another land. That's really good for us. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make an Adanto token here. 2019 Hoagland memes. What's going on, J-Rod? Thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What do I think about variance Artifact? So when games like Artifact and Hearthstone, when they don't have variance built into their resource system, they have to build variance into other places in the game. Otherwise, the games are just incredibly low variance to a point where the gameplay gets really dry. And I really am not a huge fan of where Artifact puts the variance. I think Artifact puts the variance in a lot of places that feel really bad as a player. Like their whole pathing thing feels bad in my opinion, which that's super subjective. Feel free to disagree with that, but I'd rather miss on land drops than lose to my pathing arrows. Yeah, I agree, Bob. Most people think they don't want variance, when in reality, they want a lot of variance. All right, so the opponent's playing green-black, but it's a little bit different build of green-black. Definitely love Tocatli on our guard here. I love, oh, I need to reset filters. If you don't board your land in first, it'll pull the land out of your sideboard, so you can't click on it, which is really awkward. So cutting heroic reinforcements might seem a little bit awkward, but the reason why I do this is because we're boarding an experimental frenzy, the lower the curve of our deck is, the better off we're going to be, because if we have more cheap cards on top of our deck, we're going to draw more cards per turn with experimental frenzy. And MOBA is the variance of the teammates, yep. I think this is my board plan. I need to go back and look at the article. I should probably pull the article on my website up so I could just like cheat off of Past Jeff. Past Jeff is so smart. He already did all of his homework already. I'm in a game right now. I have 6 lands in play. Do I play a land before playing Frenzy? I think the answer is no. Look, no numbers. I think you're not supposed to. It depends on what your deck is. In this deck, I wouldn't. I think I keep this. These cards are kind of low quality. Actually, you know what? I broke my golden sideboarding rule. So here's my golden sideboarding rule that slipped my mind. If your deck has a sideboard card that's an ace in the hole, that means you win if you draw it almost every time, and your opening hand is close and it doesn't have that ace, you should mulligan. So because I think this hand is close, but it didn't have, what's it called in it? It didn't have, what's her name? The Tocatli on her guard. I think I was supposed to mulligan. That's usually my tiebreaker personally. Like I asked myself the question, all right, I have one card that's really important here. If I don't have that, that's my tiebreaker. I'll mulligan or I'll keep. My attack here is technically sloppy. I should attack with my Hunted Witness before playing my Legion's Landings out, because that way when my opponent makes the decision of whether or not they're blocking, they have less information to do it with. Wow, the fact that they drew 2 lands there is actually really good for me, because it means that none of these will be able to eat my things when I attack here, and I really want to attack with all of these here because it flips my Legion's Landing over. So like now they're trading, and like these things drew cards, but like I don't really care about the cards in my opponent's hand. I'm gonna win this game while they have cards in their hand most likely. Like getting to a double Adanto Vanguard this turn is quite excellent for us. That's like a little annoying, but I get to Conclave Tribunal this, so I can't block my 3/1s, which is nice. Land here is actually not a terrible draw, because it lets me go land, History of Benalia, Conclave Tribunal off my Knight and my Hunted Witness, attack them for 3, or attack them for 6. And like, again, the important thing that you want to be thinking about when you're playing this deck in this matchup is how far are they from Find Finality? So like I'm hitting them to 12 this turn, and I'm getting guaranteed 1 more attack in before they can Finality me, which is ideal. So even if they have Finality on curve on 6, they're going to be a low enough life total that like Adanto plus like a good Experimental Frenzy could run them out of the game. Moment of Craving is pretty good. Buffer their health total a little bit. Yep. And because my opponent's only 1 turn off from Finality, I'm actually going to go ahead and offer this trade of the Knight for one of their 3/2s, as opposed to waiting for History of Benalia to pop off next turn. Oh, you know what? I probably should leave this back, because I'd like this to survive in case they Finality me. Yeah, I think this attack was wrong. This was a mistake. Having 1 more thing in play could be really valuable here after this Finality. Yeah, what's going on, Rolk? I'm going to be running a little bit later into the afternoon now, so Christy and I refinagled our schedule so I can stream till 5 o'clock or so every day. as opposed to having to end at 3. So I'm just gonna do this like a normal 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Top deck Frenzy would be real good here. They shocked in, so that shock means they have a Vraska's Contempt here. They're gonna Moment of Craving plus Vraska's Contempt. So they'll Moment here, Craving here, trade here, take 2, end up at 6. I'm not making these indestructible because exiling or making this negative doesn't get protected by indestructible. They could potentially eat one of my 1/1s here and take 5, but I think that's an unnecessary risk. Yeah, I think they're supposed to trade off here. When people, now I can say I have a 9 to 5. It is currently 4:30 cornfield time. Somebody going for another half hour or so here. This application is never going to involve trading. There will never be a secondary market in this application. They are hopefully going to evolve in. They're hopefully going to have a secondary. They're hopefully going to have the 5th card issue addressed by the end of this. By the end of this quarter. So they get a 3/3 every upkeep now. So they could stabilize here. Tindershoot Dryad is like a mean. This is a mean card. Very good at this point in the game. Wow, they had the finality and just chose not to use it. Scary. I don't have heroic reinforcements in my deck right now. Instead, I have experimental frenzies. So I agree. I want absolutely nothing to do with MTG Finance. It's just completely and totally rancid. Yeah, we need to hit Frenzy like this turn. You need to be using your desktop, J-Rod. So that's the thing people miss a lot of the time. You can't join the Discord server from your mobile. Yeah, we're just like, they get 2 free 3/3s every turn, which is like better than the quality of our deck. I agree, Regulus. I think the dragging of their feet and addressing the 5th card issue is a major thing that needs to. There's unfortunately nothing we can really do about it. 'Cause like especially me doing this as my job, I'm not going to stop playing Magic Arena. What should a novice with little donate should play? Well, the best budget deck in Standard right now is the mono blue tempo deck. This is a pretty easy mulligan, just too many lands, no Tocatli. Turn 2 Tocatli under guard. I think I keep that because it's a red source. So Tocatli is so good in this matchup that I think I'm actually gonna wait to play the Dauntless Bodyguard after I play the Tocatli. I mean, you can build a competitive deck on Arena for like 20 bucks in terms of mono blue, and you can build fuller decks like green black and Jeskai control for like for like 100 bucks or so. And you can also do it, you know, if you don't if you have more time than money, you can also spend your time grinding cards. Yes, I am. People who think the 5th card issue is a major issue, I am someone who's disproportionately affected by the 5th card issue. It's the people who are pumping hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars into this application that are disproportionately affected by it, which is a big part of the reason why that issue should be addressed. So take note, Wizards of the Coast. You should prioritize fixing problems that disproportionately affect your whales. The people who give you piles of money should wait the shortest amount of time to have their issues addressed. Just saying. Every other reasonable business in the world, that's how that works. Nah, I don't think so, Caboose Man. They have so few 2-mana removal spells that I think it's like not worth waiting. Sure, you're 40% to your second vault. Do you know how many vaults I've opened? I'm almost at double-digit vault openings. Double-digit vault openings. Yeah, for the record, people who are asking, I don't get preview cards from Wizards, and the reason why I don't get preview cards from Wizards is because I say stuff like that. I point out when they mess up, or when I feel they mess up. So I chose to play my land before playing the Experimental Frenzy there, and then I got punished. I think if you have less than 6 lands in play, you're supposed to play the land before you Frenzy. That's such a weird card to have in post-board against us. Yep, with the Tolarian Community College is literally larger than Wizards of the Coast. Like he has more YouTube subscribers than Wizards of the Coast does. Like, I'm large-ish, but I'm by no means as large as the Professor's channel is. I went back to 30 FPS because I was having some system lag issues. Good luck, Nivik. Have fun, most importantly. Yep. Not saving my Adanto Vanguards because I can't. Indestructible does not protect from negatives like that. I agree, Thirsty. I didn't say it doesn't impact free-to-play players. What I said was it impacts people who spend money far more quickly and more often than free-to-play players are. Like, the 5th card issue impacts everybody. It impacts every single person that plays Magic Online. Magic Arena, whatever this application is. I definitely just said Magic Online. Whatever we call this. So, whether or not this game... they've already said how they're going to address it, Shorty. Do a quick Google search. They've literally announced how they plan to address the 5th card issue. They're just dragging their feet on having time to implement the fix that they're going to implement. Yay, Frenzy! Yay, Frenzy! Do I play this other one out here? Yeah, I think I do. It's fine. I'm asking how you would address it if you had the ability to say anything about it. I actually really like their proposed fix. I think their proposed fix where you just won't open 5th copies of cards you already have 4 of is fantastic. They're low enough on resources at this point that we might be able to pull this out with the Frenzies. I guess they have the Argyl's Bloodfast here, technically. Like I said, it depends on how good these Frenzies are at this point. I have no idea punishing waterfalls. And I think figuring out things like that is why they're waiting. Yeah, I think even with the Bronzodon here, I blow a Frenzy up since I have another Frenzy in my hand. It might even get them to, like, blow my Frenzy up. Like, blow the second one up here. So this lets them destroy the Conclave Tribunal and get their Chupacabra back, but I only have 1/1s in play anyway, so I think that's fine. Now, I think if they're hammering their health total, that's fine for me. Like, I win this game by killing my opponent. Like, pay 2 life, draw a card. I think that's a winning proposition for me. I'm like, happy when my opponent does that. It's, like, pretty greedy for them to be doing that. How do you feel about people who put Frenzy discard enabler cards in their deck, like Dismissive Pyromancer? I think those cards just tend to be bad on average. You don't want to put low quality cards in your deck, basically. Enchantment reminds me of Necropotence in a way. We're hoping to dodge Finality here, which I guess they get a lot of draws at, although they're through 2 copies of it already. This turn was decent, above average as far as turns go. Alright, I guess they get to flip Argyl's Bloodfast here, which lets them gain some life, which is valuable for them. We'll see them Conclave Tribunal and then shoot this, and then we might see them volley back the Brontodon. We've played a green-red Frenzy deck on stream a few times before, and it's felt really powerful. So, like, adding roll cards and better mana to that seems fantastic. My lack of... Maybe I'm supposed to leave, like, 1 or 2 reinforcements in my deck for matches like this. Because, like, a heroic reinforcements would really allow me to break this game open, but I boarded all of them out, so maybe cutting all of them is wrong. If I attack with everything, they just eat a bunch of my stuff and nothing happens, so... I'd like to hope that they miss Finality for 1 more turn here and then smush next turn. Alright, well, spending a removal spell there tells me that they don't currently have Finality in hand. That means they're going to have to draw it, which is nice. I wonder if I'm supposed to end step crack this Experimental Frenzy so I can untap and use the Conclave Tribunal. I think that's the case. Do we like that? I think I like that. Especially since I have, like, the 3rd Frenzy in my hand. So I'll just use this to target their 3/4. It depends on how many packs you're buying, Hathor. Oh, that lets them gain a bunch of life. That's true. All right, let's do this and see what we have on top of our deck. Another Conclave Tribunal is really good. Oh, I should bodyguard first. Yeah, I totally should bodyguard first. Thank you for pointing that out. And this is honestly, again, like I've been talking about things that like make this standard format great. One of the things that makes this standard format so good is like, look at this, right? Like we're an aggro deck and like we have grind and they're a mid-range deck that has grind. Like every archetype and deck in this format like has card advantage if they want it. And it makes for some really awesome games of Magic. They're just dead, right? They are dead on board. Oh, they can gain 3, right? They can gain 3. So they're at 7. Right? They're at 7. So they block 1, 2, 3. And then they take 4, 5. God, I would have killed them with the Dauntless Bodyguard. Is that right? No, they'd be at 1. The Skymarchers could be real good here. Ajani doesn't help, I don't think. I think Ajani would have done it if I would have played the Dauntless Bodyguard, I think. Because they can block 3 things here. Oh, you know what? If I play the Ajani, are they forced to trade this? I think they are. So they're going to sacrifice this and go up to 7. And then they're going to take this and go down to 2. Which this actually puts them in a good spot if they rip Finality. So if they rip Finality here, things can be bad for us. Because they get to gain 3 and then Finality up. You know, we talked about this Argos Bloodfast seeming kind of medium against us post board, but it's really done a lot of work for them. Hey, 2 months. Thanks for re-upping for the 2nd month in a row. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I wonder if I was supposed to crack the Frenzy to play the Ajani to bring back the Tocatli. Is definitely something I could have done. Chupacabra does not get them out of this. They're at a virtual 6 right now. Yeah, they need a removal spell in their hand. I believe they're dead on board, right? Even without this Ajani. They get 1 more blocker. They take 2 here. They block 5 things on the ground. Yeah.
It is good to see you, my friend.
It is good to see you, my friend.
Be strong.
That was a heck of a game. I like to end on a high note. We've been playing for a little over an hour with this one. That was really sweet. I like this build a lot. Again, if you like this deck and you want to play it in some best of 3 Magic or just get some tips for playing it in best of 1, you can check out my primer on it from 2 weeks ago on Cool Stuff Inc. I write articles for them every single week, strategy and other Magic related content. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning about 8:30, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to play a couple leagues on Magic Online like we do every day. And I'll be rolling right on into Standard on Arena shortly after that. I have no idea. I'd be very surprised if Wizards of the Coast ever gave Pauper a lot of support in paper, because it doesn't encourage people to buy as much product as other formats do. So. Best MTG Insight on Twitch. Keep it going. Charmander, thanks for the 2-1-3 sub. I appreciate that. So re-up and welcome back. Remember, if you want to see more content from myself, head on over to my website and my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, remember to smash that like button, ring that bell, and leave a comment below. And I'm going to find someone playing Magic here to host real quick.